Good afternoon, everybody. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Dr. Leslie Meyers. Leslie is one of my favorite people, and I would love to introduce you to her right now. Leslie?
Hey, Danielle. Yes, I'm Dr. Leslie Meyers, and my wife and I have a clinic named Waterleaf Naturopathic Medicine, and we're both naturopathic doctors. We're in Asheville, North Carolina, and we've been working with FPC for about 2 years now. We've both been in practice for much longer than that, 14 and 16 years. But we're glad we found FPC just a couple years ago.
And we're so glad that we found you, because you guys have been an amazing asset to FPC. And we love what you guys are doing for your community. And you have, is it 2 beautiful children?
We do. We have 2 daughters, 7 and 11, and
they're the cutest things you've ever seen.
They are.
They're just absolutely adorable. When we had our quarterly training event just a couple of weekends ago, they made a live appearance and came on screen, and that was probably one of my favorite moments.
And there's 2. They feel famous now, so
they do. They're going to catch the bug. They're going to ask for acting lessons now or something.
Yeah, they like to be on video. That's
good. Well, I can't believe it's been 2 years. We were just talking about that. I mean, time definitely flies when you're having fun, but I'm blown away that it's been 2 years. It seems like yesterday that we were talking about, if it was a good fit for you. I remember our call. I remember our discovery call. And I remember thinking that I loved your spirit so much. And I was like, she's going to be amazing. I just knew, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman is going to be awesome. And I don't know why I get like really good connections and good feelings, good energy. You had awesome energy. And I really enjoyed speaking with you and getting to know you. Tell us a little bit about like what was going on in the practice and what was going on with you and Emily, before we had that call.
Yeah, so we had changed our practice up a bit a couple of years prior to that, where we started offering programs and getting some coaching, and it was exciting, but like we were investing a lot, but we weren't really seeing the turnaround financially that we were wanting to see as we invested in our business. So it was really stressful at points. And about like 8 months prior to that, it got really stressful. And, I think that was a December that I talked to you. I remember it was like, I can still remember, it was like December 5th. And, and I had been I literally was looking for exactly who y'all are. And I was like, oh, if there were just, if there was just a coaching group that had exactly what I needed, and they helped, integrative medicine doctors, naturopaths, and they could really guide me on all these different things that were specific for my kind of practice. And then somebody told me about you, and it was like, wait, what? And so
I think we talked about that on the call, didn't we? We were like,
probably.
You put it out in the universe and it manifested. Is like what we were talking about.
Yes. I mean, I didn't know that you guys had been around, and it was like, I was dreaming of you. So, and it was like, it was exciting to be talking to you. And I really, when I found out about you, I was like, and learned more about freedom practice coaching, I really just needed to know that we were on the same page with our values, and then talking to you, like I had the same feeling with you that, like you were awesome, and I was getting good vibes. And so I was just really excited. Yeah.
And you weren't like, it wasn't like you just started your practice. So you had had your practice for how many years?
Yeah, for about, 14 years. We did insurance at first for about 6 years, and then switched to cash when we moved states from Washington to North Carolina. And that was really nice. But, then we had the problem of trying to get people in the door. And, we're just kind of coasting for a while.
Yeah.
So our practice completely changed when we, started working with FPC, and it's just way different than it was before. I mean, it's like it's just not even in the same wheelhouse, really.
Well, and I remember on the call we were talking about, I remember distinctly telling you, you're almost there. You have like everything almost there. And I think, and I don't know if you believed me or not, but the way that you were explaining, you were like, we're doing programs and we're trying to like do consultations, and and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so close. She just needs to like, it was almost like the Rubiks Cube. Like you just needed to like turn it, and I could tell that you had been trying and trying and trying, and it was getting really frustrating and expensive, right? Because a lot of times when practitioners get so stuck, they can't see anymore, because you're like, I know it's almost there, but I can't like quite figure it out. And so the one thing that I hear is like, I'm doing well. Like, why do I need a coach? And I think that there's a lot of people that could even say like, I think I can figure this out on my own. And I have no doubt that you guys would have figured it out on your own. Like, no doubt in my mind. I don't know how much longer it would have taken. I think it would have taken a little bit more time, like another year or two. And it definitely would have taken that investment that you guys, because when you're trying things, that you're not only losing money because of the investment that you're making in things that don't work, but you're losing that potential income.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
and so if you think about, how much you would have lost if you didn't make that leap. Right. So not to mention what you would have spent, but what you would have lost with, and I don't want to get into numbers because I know that's super personal, but I will say you've done really well.
We definitely have. And, like when you were talking, I was like, you were just like really hitting the nail on the head just now. And I kept thinking, it was that just having someone where we didn't have to reinvent the wheel every time, because it's expensive and it's also stressful, and it's like discouraging, when it's like takes so many tries or so many different, like doing things different ways to finally figure something out. It takes a lot out of you. And so, that just the not having to reinvent the wheel. Yeah. It made things come faster. Like we really got the ball rolling, like, right when we signed up with you guys.
Yeah.
And
I think it took 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah. It was something like right in there.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, bam, and like, it was like that last Rubiks Cube twist where we just suddenly had all the pieces we needed. And then somebody to support us to help make it like consistent and figure all the other stuff out that we weren't even thinking about. Right. And gosh, what was I going to say? Just that not reinventing the wheel just took off so much stress. So I can't even tell you, like, just to having other people in the community that were doing the same thing. Like I always say that, like, it feels so good to have like this whole group of doctors that are doing things not the same way, because we are our own people and like have our own things to offer, but the same kind of things,
we're all moving in the same direction. Like we're all moving into a preventative wellness type of system rather than a sick care model, which is what's prevalent today.
Right. And we have a lot of things in common in our systems and our, like ways and our thinking, our mindset. That's a huge one. And just like having this group of like people that are like on the same page with you, like, and interested in the same stuff and excited, and like everybody's cheering each other on. And that's like huge.
It's huge. And
nice.
The things that Charlie always says is, it's easy to feel like a 10 when you're hanging around 6s.
Right. Yeah, I have heard him say that before.
But what's really awesome is like the group that we have, the FPC Family Tribe, community, whatever you want to call us. You guys were all 10s. Like the mindset that you guys have to be successful entrepreneurs, doctors who actually promote healing and working with people in a foundational and like transformative way, and are actually out there in the field doing it I mean, I am so in awe of all of you that you guys get to do that. It's just awesome. I'm so fortunate that I get to hang out with you guys.
Likewise.
So you guys have an interesting business that not a lot of people have, in the fact that you're married and you get to work together, right?
Right. Yeah.
When it's coming from experience, when it's really good. When it's hard, it's really stressful because there's nowhere to go. You go home together and you work together. And how has the FPC model helped strengthen, your bond and your relationship?
Well, it definitely has, because it's challenged us. You can't really grow your business and do things better and like improve yourself better in one way without improving yourself in another way. So there's been a massive amount of growth for both of us. And, it's not always easy, but it's like I would definitely, it's definitely strengthened our marriage and just who we are as individuals, which, translates to your marriage too. But, and even our time off, it strengthened that part, because we just value having boundaries with work and having, break, and like 7:30, we can't, after that, we can't talk about work. And we really value our vacations in a big way now, and like have fun in different ways, I would say now, for somehow that I don't know. I could go on about that and probably explain why that happened, but it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that's just it. That whole like personal development leadership that happens when you're coaching with FPC, because I say it all the time. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say it, but we can only take you as far as you can take yourselves, right? And if there's a place where you're stuck, if there's a place where there's a block, we have to help that be released and push through that, so that we can take you guys to the next level and take your business to the next level. And I know Angel is probably one of like the most favorite coaches here at FPC.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Angel, our mindset coach, because he really helps people transform and break through when they didn't even sometimes realize they had issues that they needed to break through. I'll share a quick story about Denise, and I know she's not on here to defend herself, so I'll bring her on later. But this was back in the day when I was coaching, right? So this was years ago when I was coaching, and Denise was one of my clients, Denise Haller, and she couldn't close her consultations. There was like 7 or 8 consultations that they all said no
in a row.
And zero. So she wasn't moving anybody into a program, and she started getting really nervous, and she called me. Now Denise is she knows what she's doing. She knows how to connect with people and how, if they're a good fit, to move them into a program. She's very good at that. And I knew she was good at that. And I asked her, why don't you want to close people? And she was like, literal light bulb, like went off. And she was like, I'm too busy. I can't bring on any new clients. And she was like, how did you see that? And I was like, because I know you so well. I know you can move people into programs. So there must be something else. And I think that's what's so cool about our coaching and our coaches is we don't always give you the answer that you're looking for, but we give you the answer that you need, because we've done it so many times. Right. So it's like, I could have done this whole PME breakdown with her and gone through why she's not closing, but I knew it was way more than that. I knew there was something else going on. And the coaches are pretty intuitive, because we get to know you really well. Yeah. You had some visitors not too long ago, right?
I did. Yes. Gosh, Trevor and Nicole came to our clinic in Asheville, had dinner at our house, hung out with, our daughters, and Trevor sang and played the guitar, and we went out. And so that was amazing for him to them. Trevor's been my like one-on-one coach for a while, so it was really cool
and what did it do for the practice to have Trevor and Nicole there, right? And watching the systems and watching like, okay, you guys, y'all need to tweak this and you need to do this. Like how beneficial was that to just have our coaches there helping you guys?
It was incredible. And to look at our practice from where it was then in October to where it is now, yeah, big change.
Even better.
Even better, yeah. And we were kind of going through like a little bit of a challenge at that point. So it was like perfect that they got there. And yeah, even better than before that challenge though, you know, like it's really good now and things are going really well. And yeah, it was just invaluable to have them there and help us like with our systems, and just they could see like upfront everything that was going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so cool. And let's talk a little bit about, you know, the practice itself. So, you know, you work with patients in a little bit of a different way, as most of our practitioners do. You know, you use programs to get people to their health goals. Is there somebody that like stands out in your mind that you've maybe helped change their life and it wouldn't have been possible without putting them in a program?
Oh, a lot of people. Yeah. So one person I'm thinking of right now is somebody that came in, a woman about 30 years old, and she came in and yeah, she was having a lot of issues with hormones and weight, PCOS, and fertility. And she was not expecting the success that she had for real. We were like a last resort, which we often are, right?
Yeah.
And if I had just been seeing her like for one-on-one visits, you know, just regular follow-ups and scheduling one at a time, we just would not have gotten the results that we got. And if we hadn't been able to give her all the education that we have designed now, you know, it wouldn't have given her everything she needed. And if she hadn't signed up for a program, you know, she did so much in that first month to really get herself started. She would not have done all of that. You know, it was kind of a lot for her, but she did it. And she changed so much that was going on with stress, with weight, with her cycle. And she always talks about her libido and how that was like a surprise that got better. And her husband was very happy and they were very happy. And then she got pregnant. And so it was just this amazing story about how like, and she was just so surprised, but she did the work. She showed up, and, you know, we showed up with what we had, what we bring to the table, which is like a lot of value now that we have all these things in place. And we have to give, you know, people frequent appointments that they always feel heard and supported. And she was able to do something like incredible that I don't think she thought she could even do. And then she got amazing results. So it's just like that's just a really great example that I think of sometimes, like, that's why we're doing this, you know, this is it.
Absolutely. You know, when I was working with Dr. Gonzalez and we were offering programs, she had part of her practice was insurance. So people were able to use their insurance and get functional medicine on the other side of the practice, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I would hear often, not from practice members or patients, but from other providers on the insurance side, is why would anybody come and work with you? It's between a $7,000 to $15,000 investment out of their pocket. Insurance doesn't cover anything. Why would anybody spend that money? And I would always tell them, you know, when people invest in a destination, usually that encompasses hope, a hoped for destination. They're going to do the work that they'll never do with insurance. And that was, you just, you know, so beautifully like showed that. I mean, do you think she would have done that same work if she had been able to use insurance, or even if she had been in fee for service?
You know, probably it just would not have worked out the same, most likely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't speak for everyone because there are people out there that have like that drive, but to keep going, even though like some things have gotten better and okay, like, and then it's not top of mind anymore.
Right.
Or yeah, but there's something about that's really powerful about someone coming in, you guys talking, we connect, you know,
Yeah.
I understand them, they understand me, we're just like really open and honest. And it's like, what do you want to do? Yeah, we will help you do that. And we're going to commit to it in a big way. And we're asking you to commit to it too. And it's like, we're both like, yes. And then it's like, boom, from there, they're ready.
They co-labor with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They're not expecting you to fix them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Which is like a nice relief too.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we always talk about fears of being an entrepreneur and fears of being a doctor entrepreneur. And one of those fears that I hear a lot of is fear of success. Like, what if this person does choose to work with me and they do invest this money with me? How am I supposed to make them better? And I always tell them it's not up to you to make them better anymore. It's just up to you to transfer your knowledge in a curriculum and guide them into lifestyle changes, and so that they can reach for this hope for destination. That is so overlooked.
Exactly. You never know, like that's a fear like that I had to overcome. Like, oh no, someone just gave me, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000. Oh no, like I have to make them better now, and I've really gotten over that because, we're going to show up and then it's just up to them to show up, and we're going to do our best. And you just never know like what amazing things are going to happen either. It's probably going to work out pretty amazing, and it might have some like miracles in there. Like I do have like one miracle story that I'll share with you.
Yeah. That
I always think of, like, I can have no other way to describe it but a miracle. It was somebody that came in for infertility, happens to be infertility again. And she was 41, 42, and she came in a couple of, what was it? Like, a year ago. And she'd been struggling for over 10 years with infertility, and had done some more like IVF and IUIs. And so she was like, I want to give it another go. And they were just like, one last hope. Okay, let's just, and it was pretty dire, like they really wanted a baby. Yeah. And we sat down and we talked. Her husband was there, and we just really connected and said, okay, we're going to give you this plan. There's no guarantees. I don't know what will happen. Some good things will probably happen for your health.
Right.
And maybe something will happen for fertility. We'll see. We'll do what we can. And, and she's like, great. Like, I want to move forward in the direction of my health, and let's do that. And I can now take off my plate and my worry that I'm not doing the right thing for my health and my fertility, and let that go. Wow. And she was like, when she came in, she was kind of like, just a little stiff. Mm-hmm. And like, just like nervous. And then she was very open by the time she left and relaxed. You could just tell the change. Mm-hmm. And I even talked to her the next day, and she was even more relaxed. And turns out, like 2 weeks later, she conceived, got a pregnancy test 2 weeks after that. Oh. I mean, we really hadn't done anything in those first 2 weeks that really could have made a change. That I don't think it was anything like physical that we did. And I really think we both were like, she was like, this is a miracle. I was like, this is a miracle. This is amazing, and it's
almost as if you gave her permission to put herself and her health before getting pregnant, which allowed her to relax and have like inner peace so that she could get pregnant. I think so many women force that, like, I have to get pregnant, like no matter the cost. Yeah. And if the cost is your health, then, the baby's health is at risk too, and what you did was beautiful. So there's 2 babies in this world because of you. That's amazing.
Well, I'm going to give the credit to,
to them.
They did carry those things.
That's true.
They did do a little bit of something.
You assisted. So we'll give you the assists on that.
Okay, I'll take maybe there always also was someone else involved too. So maybe I'll take, third party assist.
But I will say they hadn't had it before you. So, I mean, I love that you're giving them the credit because they did the hard work and you gave them permission to do the things necessary to get them there.
Yeah, a lot of what we do is providing that space and like the plan we lay out for them and like the support and just them knowing that they have this space where they're going to be supported, I think is a big deal sometimes. And I felt like the power of that was really big for this case too.
Totally agree. And going back to business a little bit and fears of being an entrepreneur. There's one fear that I think is a really unspoken fear. Not a lot of people tell me this is a fear, but they'll say no to opportunities because of this fear. So it's a very prevalent underlying fear that a lot of practitioners have. None of them will admit to. And that fear is the fear of committing to business expenses.
Yep.
Right? Because if you have these expenses and things don't go well, you still have to pay for the expenses, right?
Right.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your experience with this one.
Yeah, I've definitely had this one, and it has held me back, and it's made me, like panic. And what it ultimately came down to was that my fear of not fulfilling my potential to help others to my fullest capacity was bigger. So in order to do that, I have realized that I have to take risks. To do something big, you got to take risks. And so those risks, I found out that they usually pay off. And so taking those risks and just going forward and just knowing, you're going to go into like challenges and scary things maybe, but the more you get used to that, the easier they are. And so as long as you keep going forward, it's going to pay off.
It's also that fear of the unknown, because you're like, I don't really know what's going to be happening, and I'm not sure. It's the fear of the unknown, I think, is the scariest thing for everybody, and it can feed into all these other fears that we have,
Sure.
But going back to that, like fear of committing to business expenses, I love that you said your fear of not fulfilling your purpose was bigger.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason that we say this is unacceptable before we'll step out of comfortable, right? And for you, it was the fear that you wouldn't meet your purpose. But how has that whole, and again, you can get into finances, you don't have to, totally up to you, but like how comfortable are you now with your business expenses and with knowing your statistics? Because we teach a lot on statistics here.
Right. I mean, it's paid off, like when we first started working with FPC, right away, we tripled our monthly revenue.
Crazy.
Tripled.
Yeah.
And, there were some ups and downs, but we never got down to where we were before FPC. And then it was like just working on getting the consistency, which we're getting a lot more of. And we might have our best month ever this month.
Nice. Congratulations.
Which is really exciting.
It's exciting.
And it just means like that, we're having a financially healthy like practice, but it just means also that we're helping more people. We're able to do things that make it better for them. We're able to offer scholarships, like we have a minority scholarship. So then we're able to do those more easily and give back,
Talked about that on our call. We talked about you doing that. So that's awesome that you're doing that. I love
that.
that.
And you guys were like, or you probably said like that, eventually you can do that. Like once you get success, like in all the different finances, in all the different ways, like then you can do those things.
You have to give. You got to make money to give, right? But once there's an abundance, then let's give back.
Yeah. And so when we offer those things, they're not like little dinky things that we're just given, there's like, we're going to really help people that haven't gotten the help and that need it. So
I love that. And if you have, so, you know, if you have a month where it's not as, maybe it's not your best month ever, do you stress as much as you used to before you had the knowledge of statistics and how to turn on the engine and everything?
Yeah, no, I don't. But I really used to. And Angel helped me with that a lot in the beginning.
Good.
So that was awesome. He was like, you got to ride the waves. It's okay, you know? And also, yeah, now I know, like, oh, I just have to do this and I'll see changes in that next month, you know? And so, yeah, that's pretty amazing. I feel more and more like empowered in that way, I guess you would say. Like we empower our patients, you know, like you guys are empowering us in that way.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I know that we're coming up on time, and I just want to ask, are there any thoughts that you have, you know, for anybody that's watching and maybe has been researching FPC, has been thinking about it, maybe they're on the fence, or maybe they've, you know, decided to commit to it, but they're trying to get their finances together, whatever the reason, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. Do you have any thoughts or anything you want to share with them?
Yeah, let's see. I would say that if you want to do something really powerful with your practice that involves helping people with lifestyle and long-term results and education and empowerment, and then, you know, then this is like a really great way to go. And that there are a million reasons to not do it that are probably going through your mind. But if you listen to your gut, and if you're wanting to do this, like do it, and then just listen to what the coaches say. And you never have to do anything that's not something that you wouldn't agree with. You know, never does anyone really even tell me to do anything like that. But there's not one way to do it. So you make it your own. But like, if you listen to the gist of what they're telling you and do it, you will have success. Like that's just the bottom line.
I love that. That's so true. There is not just one way to do it. It's a customized approach to each practitioner, just like it's a customized approach to your patient's health, right? So
yeah, like, you know, like we do a lot of emotional wellness, and that's what Emily does on, like, she does that part of the practice. And so that, you know, anyway, that's a bit about how we do it differently.
And it works really,
yeah.
really well.
Yeah, it works. It's good.
I love that. Next time we're going to bring Emily on so that we can have both of you talking about all of the fun ups and downs of FPC and married life.
Totally. It's, yeah. And it's fun that there's other, like a bunch of other couples in FPC too.
Yeah. It's not like there's a lot of married couples that do this together. I love that.
There really are.
Yeah. It's really cool. Maybe we'll have like what is it? Married, like, remember that old Hollywood Squares, like where like they're couples. Anyway, I'm totally dating myself.
Oh yeah,
like I don't know what you're talking about.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, the dating game with all the FPC clients. That would be
right.
We'll have to do it quarterly. We'll tell.
Oh, X's and O's, maybe was that it? I don't know.
Maybe that was it. Yeah. Anyway, we have so much fun here. But thank you so much for being on today. I loved your story, and that's why I wanted to make sure that we shared it with others. And keep doing what you guys are doing, because you guys are amazing.
Thank you, Danielle, and you as well. I'm so glad that like you're out there talking to doctors that want to do something different and helping them.
Thank you. Bye, guys. We will have some comments down in the chat for different little videos that we've mentioned throughout. So please feel free to click on those and learn a little bit more about the different aspects of FPC.